Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, approaching the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Nicolas Maduro Day. You're about to see it up Park Row. That's why we've come this way all for some time now, starting a little early on the vlogs. But today, Nicolas Maduro at noon. We should be live tweeting. And as we reported last night, just before midnight, just before 9 p.m., the two sides put in a letter prior to today's conference saying that they want a trial in June 2027. Now, some people have said that's a long time. You'll be in jail. What about the Speedy Trial Act? What I can tell you is that this, for a case like this, with a lot of CIPA information, Classified Information Procedures Act, it's actually kind of a fast schedule. I believe that the poly market case of Van Dyke, who bet on the capture of Maduro, will probably come to trial first. If he doesn't find a way to plead out or get it dismissed as something in which the law doesn't quite cover. Anyway, you can find our Maduro story on Inner City Press and Patreon. There it is. Also yesterday, on the top floor over here, 23rd floor, there was the presentment of the guy Arrabaca, who lit on fire 26 Federal Plaza's sidewalk. He was not a very imposing character. I'd say he's about 5 foot. He had on glasses, and he was already playing, well, his lawyers were, the federal defenders, playing the mental card, saying that he should be sent to the VA hospital, not detained in the MDC. Judge Tarnowski, after a break, said he should be detained in the MDC, but she wants a letter in 48 hours, now fewer. So we're going to be covering that. You'll find that on Inner City Press and Substack, and we're going to cover that case. It's not what it appeared. They also didn't bring terrorism charges, just arson. Maybe this is not consistent with what they said at a press conference in front of Worth Street, which we would have liked to stream live. But we'll get into that perhaps at another time. Now, on the unsealing front, we've made inroads at the Northern District of California. One of the hardest ones to deal with. One of the hardest ones to they kind of thumb their nose. Yesterday we live tweeted some Judge Breyer, the brother of the Supreme Court Justice. Hello. All right. How do you like it? Maduro. His Uber, he handles the Uber case. And he's been unwilling to docket a perfectly legit letter trying to unseal. This is a matter of public interest. Just because, definitely the plaintiffs want to get paid. I understand that. But the public has a right to know what's happening in those cars in any event. Another judge there has docketed our request to unseal. It's called Bidco GmbH. GmbH is sort of the equivalent of Inc. in Germany. That's my understanding. In that case, they've argued that because Germany doesn't have a PACER, that even court proceedings that are open to the public in Germany, you can seal the information in the United States because people in the U.S. don't know about it. That's not the standard. And we've opposed it, and it's been docketed. I think it's some big law firm representing them, so we'll just have to see how they respond. We've turned the corner now. Bank of Nova Scotia. Bank of Nova Scotia, Fair Finance Watch commented on their attempt to buy a bank called Maple Mark. Well, through Sullivan and Cromwell, they put in quite a nasty response, saying that nothing is relevant, including their tattered compliance history. Well, we disagree. We've done a response. I haven't written the follow-up story yet, but I will. Because Bank of Nova Scotia doesn't have a right to just trounce in. Basically, their defense is it's all in the business plan, and the business plan has been withheld in full by the Fed. So we have a FOIA request in for that. I'm going to do the UN before we get there because there's an enormous media lineup for Maduro across the street. I don't know they're not going to see Maduro, but I guess they just need the backdrop of the court. On the UN front, we wrote yet another scoop. The scoop involves, I'm going to stop here. The scoop involves the mission in Colombia, a guy called Wang Yang, or Yang Wang. He's been promoted over there, and he apparently scored best on Spanish language test in the UN system. I even have the documents, except he doesn't speak Spanish at all. It's absolute fraud. So, Mike Waltz, this one's for you. It's a scam. Okay, we're going now. Look across the street. They've had these barriers up for days. Last night they had police cars waiting. Maduro was supposedly brought in at 4 a.m. I don't know if that's true. All I can say is there's a huge lineup over there. I don't know how long it'll go on, and I don't know what will happen with Maduro. But I'm looking to find out at noon. To be continued.